You ever notice how many men are quick to say that love doesn't exist? There is no love. Love is this. Love is bad. Love is. Most of us don't feel like we deserve love, so we don't even want to think about the existence of love. Because then, if we think about the existence of love, then we think about something positive, and we have to tell ourselves that there's something positive that we don't deserve. How many of us want to look ourselves in the mirror and say, "You are such a foul individual that you do not deserve love, this existing wonderful thing that brings people joy"? So many of us don't feel like we deserve love. And elephant number two, most of us don't even believe love exists. I want you to think about that. We don't believe love exists. All of these possible relationships with family, with friends, with women, with even with God. Most of us don't believe we deserve love. That's why many men can't even bring themselves to gravitate toward God, man, because they don't feel like they deserve to be blessed. Many of us are bound to the things that not only that we've done wrong in our lives, but the way that men are viewed by society at large. We all just group ourselves into that simply because other people group us into it. Elephant number three, without love, there is only hate. There's only two emotional planes to exist on: love and hate. There is no in between. Either you exist in an emotional realm of love or you exist in an emotional realm of hate. And we know the difference. Any man who denies this is simply a man who is in denial about the truth of this life that we live. There's a truth to this life that we live. And the truth of this life is that if you don't exist in a realm of love, you exist in a realm of hate. And the first love and hate is of self. So if you exist in a realm of love, it's because you have founded your life on self-love. If you exist in a realm of hate, it's because you have founded your life on self-hate. And self-hate brings us into our topic today: why we love suffering and pain, and how to recover from this addiction. Many of us are addicted to suffering and pain. That's why a man can have all bad relationships, can have all foul experiences with women in relationships, and continue to pursue hundreds of women at a time. That's why a man can get fired from 5 jobs and still be looking for a sixth job instead of trying to create his own source of revenue. That's why a man can have terrible experiences being inebriated with alcohol or some type of substance, and then have a terrible time, end up in jail, end up hurt, end up getting robbed, end up with any terrible thing happening to him. He goes right back to doing it again. Because many of us hate ourselves. Masochism is what we're talking about. A need or desire for pain that you have internalized as your just desserts. You have internalized that you deserve pain. And to the brother Leroy Green, hey man, that's $6,400 a month. That's $6,400 a month. If you can't control the environment you're in and you make that kind of money, you got the wrong woman, brother. You understand? You have to put your foot down. You have to stop acting like there's a choice. It's either or. It's my way or no way, and no way is okay. Never let a woman and some children keep you from pursuing the thing that you want to pursue in life, because everyone's going to benefit when you get there, whether you're with the woman or not. Now, what we feel, why do we feel this need or desire for pain and suffering? It's basically because we need relief from the fakeness of this society we live in. We get fake praise. We get ulterior motivated adulation from people. People like you for all the wrong reasons. People act like they like you when they really don't. People act like they support you when you really don't. People love you when you're down, hate you when you're up. All of the things we deal with in this society, man, it just shows us that this society is so fake. So we need to feel something real. And what's real? We don't believe in love. We all believe in pain. Pain is the realest thing we experience in this world, man. You may not remember all of your pleasures, but I can guarantee you remember all of your pains. You may not remember every woman whose heart you broke, but I bet you remember every woman who broke yours. You may not remember every person you've knocked out, but I bet you remember every person who's knocked you out. You may not remember every lie you've told, but I guarantee you remember every person that's lied to you. You may not remember every good meal you had, but I bet you remember every bad meal you had, but you thought you had food poisoning. You may not remember every animal you've ever eaten, but I guarantee you remember everybody that's ever hit your dog in a car. We all remember our pains, and we need that. That makes life real. If you go a certain period of time without experiencing pain, you start to look at life like what's going on. The struggle of the grind of putting yourself in a position where you win financially. That's why we enjoy the process so much. That's why I tell you, man, focus on the process of progress. Don't worry about the progress itself. Focus on the process, because the process is where the pain and suffering comes from. That's how you get to a certain point and never fall off intentionally, because you remember the pain, you remember the suffering, you remember the struggle, you remember the times where you didn't eat, you remember the times where you ate something you didn't want to eat, you remember the times where you couldn't sleep no matter how tired you were. You remember all of these things because these things represent the pain. And deep down inside, we're all masochists. We love the pain. We need the pain. We thrive on the pain because we need relief from the fakeness of the society we live in. Everyone around you has an ulterior motive. Ulterior motives aren't all bad, but you must accept the fact that everyone around you has an ulterior motive. Either they want to leech off of you, or they want to ride your coattail, or they want you to benefit them in some way. Even if it's a mutually beneficial situation, it's still the same thing. Ulterior motive. Lone Wolf, welcome to the family, brother. Another thing, man, is we grow up, especially as men, we grow up being overly sympathetic to someone else's pain and suffering. And sometimes it has the effect on us that we need to share in their misfortune. It almost serves to make us feel more human. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you're young, like when you're young, think about this. When you're young, if you see your mother go through some things, let's say your dad is abusive, let's say she's got an abusive boyfriend or something like that, and you see that, it makes you become Captain Superhero Save a Chick when you become an adult. Because you need to put yourself in a situation where you can prevent someone else from their pain and suffering, even if it means you must suffer yourself. This is all psychological, man. That's why so many of us are so quick to have this angst toward women. Why? Because we need to share in the pain of the men that we know, who, no matter how much of a simp they were in a relationship, we need to experience their pain. We need to come in and share in that. We need to point the finger and say, that pain was caused by this woman. And so it's my goal to inflict as much pain on her, on them, as I can, which in turn hurts us more as men by taking us away from the emotional control that would keep us from putting ourselves in that situation in the first place. Anytime you feel the need to inflict pain on someone because of the pain they inflicted on someone else, you know deep down inside that pain is coming back to you in return. Even if it's just a trip to the clinic, still pain, emotional pain, embarrassment. Sometimes you take that trip to the clinic and it's more than emotional pain and embarrassment. It's something physical that you'll never get rid of. Sometimes it'll get rid of you before you get rid of it. So when you see that your mother was treated this way, your sister was treated this way, your grandmother was treated that way, you feel the need to jump in and make sure that no other woman is treated that way. That's how you end up in a situation being Mr. Nice Guy, which never works, to a woman who then takes advantage of you and treats you the way you wish your loved one would have treated that man. Why couldn't she have been meaner? Why couldn't she have been more elusive? Why couldn't she have been more cruel? Why couldn't she have cared less? Why couldn't she have acted as if no matter what he did, she didn't care? The same way the woman is doing you right now in the future. We take other people's pain into our bosom as men because, remember now, we feel like protectors mentally, spiritually, emotionally. We feel like protectors. That's why a man will see a man having something going on with his wife, and you will interfere and end up getting jumped on by both of them, or possibly end up getting yourself hurt because you want to jump in and take that woman's pain away. Or you want to jump into a situation and take a man's pain away. That pain has to go somewhere. If you're going to take the pain from the woman, you're going to take it to yourself. That's why I say always make sure the people around you deserve whatever you give them, whether it's male, female, child, whoever it is. Make sure they deserve what you give, because otherwise you're going to do a whole bunch of giving and you're not going to do any receiving. And that in itself leads to pain. Shinobi Style. Salute, bro. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Pain makes us feel more human. To share in other people's pain makes us feel more human. To protect other people from their pain makes us feel more human. But just remember, anytime you absolve them of their pain, you take that pain into your own bosom, into your own life, into your own spirit, into your own psyche. See, let me tell you something that happens to a lot of men in this society. Occasionally, see, we all have this cloak of false bravado and elevated self-validation, elevated self-value. And we wear it around like a uniform. That's why I say all the time, take a peek into a man's life and you get to see who that man really is when he takes off his cloak of bravado. But here's the thing. Occasionally, we have to appear from under that cloak of bravado into the real world, and other forms of elevated self-validation that we use. We have to peek from under those things. And you know what we find? We're faced with a reminder of the self-hate we suppress on a daily basis.